All right. Oh. Rev it! So, all right. Welcome back, guys, to the RaptorStrike channel. Big thing for us here at Domo, for those of y'all that know that we're out here for the Cinco de Mayo event. But last year we had the privilege to be able to sponsor a team for the Rebelle Rally, and luckily this year we're able to do it again. But let me introduce you to some folks. We have...
I'm Amanda Walden.
And
I'm Kirsten Backus.
All right, we have the driver, we have the navigator, and behind them we have their...
Trusty steed.
2024 Ranger Raptor named Disco.
So...
he likes to fly.
So can y'all tell me a little bit about how y'all got into the Rebelle Rally, or how y'all even heard about it?
Sure. So I am a professional in the automotive industry and knew a whole bunch of women that had gotten into the Rebelle Rally in the last handful of years, and immediately knew that it was something I wanted to do. Unfortunately, without a whole bunch of support from people like RaptorStrike, it's really difficult to swing as a privateer. So Amanda had a slightly different process getting there, but...
I sure did. I actually found out about it at SEMA the first year that I had the 2021 Ford Bronco two-door Badlands, and I was waiting in line. I got the opportunity to ride with Lauren Healy during one of their Optima battery events where they drift around the track. While I was standing there, Bailey Campbell, who happened to be the youngest person to ever compete in the Rebelle Rally, was in line, and we started chatting, and she told me about the event. I had just started off-roading that year, and it sounded like something I really wanted to get into.
I like that. I like that. So y'all's name or y'all's team name is Fortune and Glory.
That's right.
Number 189.
Nine.
Okay. I almost said 183. I almost messed up. So we had a different team. But so last year y'all competed, or this will be y'all's third year?
Yeah,
Correct?
so it's our third year each individually. It's our first year as a team. So both of us have competed in the last two Rebelle Rallies. I think we met for the first time
Last
at
year.
a training during
yeah.
one of them. So, you know, it's a third year is a weird year. So the first year you're really working to get your head around all the things that you don't know yet. And that's such a wild thing about the Rebelle is you go in thinking that you got it figured out, and then you get humbled really quickly in year one. In year two, you come in and you kind of get your head around what kind of strategy you need, but you're not that great at implementing it. And then year three is the year where you can really start to build, and it's where you start to see teams really take off and be successful. And then, I mean, I personally am super looking forward to that. What's your thoughts on that progression?
Absolutely, yeah. The first year, I really thought that I had a shot to win, and I kept getting really upset with my mentor at the time. She kept telling me, "You're not going to win," and just pissed me off every time she said it. Then when I got there, I was like, I understand now. You can practice the elements of this competition individually very easily. It's seeing it put all together for the first time that's hard to recreate on your own, even in training. So yes, huge shock to the system, and then you're just JFF, just effing finish at that point. Year two definitely hits different. You start to think about how you can up your game with the way that you pack your car, down to, you know, managing the opening and closing times on the checkpoints.
Time management is
huge.
a huge deal that people don't have any idea when you walk in the door on that one.
Yeah, like there's open and close times for every checkpoint. So
I'm bad at that with just my normal job.
right.
I can just imagine under all the pressure of trying to win a
Yeah,
race.
by day 7 when you're like, I'm gonna pull my hair out. And also we have 3 kilometers to cover in the next 10 seconds, so let's go.
For those of y'all that do remember last year's interview that we had with TJ, just to do a quick recap on the Rebelle Rally itself, it is an all-female rally race set. I believe it begins in Nevada and ends in California, or
It's California again this year, so we'll start in Mammoth Lakes, yeah.
Okay, and the main things for this one is it's all navigation. There's no electronics, period. No phones, no GPS, nothing. So how do they verify that on the vehicles? Is it just like you unplug your head units and they got to verify? Or?
If only it were that simple. Yeah. So they take your cell phones, they take your iPads if you have computers, any of that with you, which most of us try not to have them because it just becomes an extra risk.
Anyways,
That stuff gets sealed up and security taped so that they can verify periodically that it's not been accessed. And then what was the process?
They'll pull you over and check. Like last year, for example, you have to disengage your navigation. We hadn't quite figured out how to do that on the Bronco, so I had to pull my sync fuse so the screen was blank, so they would not tape over my screen. So if I had to get into my fuse box, there's a possibility I had to get into the tamper tape. And so they would just pull over and check every once in a while, like make sure all my tamper tape was in working order, that I hadn't gotten in there.
Making sure everyone's being fair.
That's right.
Okay.
We're way ahead of it this year because the lockers are on the touch screen in this truck.
Yes.
So there's extra challenge.
There are, yeah. There's no digital lockers on the Ranger Raptor. Like, I mean, there's no hero switches like on the Broncos. So it's a digital locker. So yes, now we know. If you're driving a Ford, you can put that in valet mode and disable your navigation. So for all future competitors, you're welcome.
So when it comes to actually being in the rally, I guess I usually tell people, for my life advice for what it is always you want to be uncomfortable. Because once you start getting comfortable, you know, you're probably doing somewhere wrong where you could be growing more. When you're in the race, would you say it's better to be uncomfortable or comfortable?
Yes, I think the answer is yes. So it's great.
You need a little bit of both.
Yeah, so a huge component of the rally that a lot of people miss is the relationship inside the truck. So Amanda and I, when we decided to work together this year, we kind of auditioned each other. So I spent a weekend living at Amanda's house and driving around, you know, her area, doing the county roads and running checkpoints and just testing how we work together in the truck. So that part has to be comfortable because you have to be able to look at your teammate and go, slow down, I don't know where we are, which is a really tough thing to say as a navigator, but it's also just a part of the process, right?
You don't want that team member that's like, I'm gonna chop you in the throat.
Yeah, that's right.
We need to figure this out, right?
Yeah,
Right. Communication has to be solid.
So that part, I think comfort is key. Other than that, good luck being comfortable. Whether it's physically, like you're gonna stay exhausted, right? Your brain is gonna stay pretty well maxed out, at least in the navigator's seat. Like your brain is just running constantly, and it is a fairly uncomfortable thing, but in a great way. It feels like growth every day.
Absolutely. This is what they call type 2 fun, where it may not seem like it in the moment. But the fact that even we have the opportunity to do this is a huge blessing. A lot of people don't get to just go and plug for 10 days and go play this really rad game. So I understand the privilege that there is in that. The disconnect is my favorite part, and the uncomfortableness, my second favorite part, and I'll tell you why. I love to compete because when I'm competing, the rest of the world melts away. So I am focused, I'm present in that moment, and it is so much fun for me. Also just takes a whole lot of weight off of your shoulders when you just get to think about the game that you're playing and not all of the other stuff in the world that's going on.
It really is like a Rebelle tunnel vision that you get to live in for 10 days, and it's a really cool, unique, hard, fun, stressful circumstance. I mean, it's unlike anything else.
I mean, I'll say like the first year, I ended up 39th and I was super disappointed, but there are 65 teams, so it wasn't at the very bottom. Last year came in 13th and was super proud of that moment. We had no AC last year. It was super challenging on top of everything else. We had like an 111 degree day. I don't know, the reward afterwards is so much bigger. I feel like when the battle is bigger. We battled really hard, so I'm looking forward to digging in this year and fighting for it. We want top 10.
Yeah.
We want y'all to get top 10 too.
Ah.
We'll aim for first, and then
That's
we'll
right.
take anything that comes in, you know, somewhere under there.
That's right.
Shoot for the stars, and you'll find your way.
Yeah.
You know. So I know, like for us, we're doing a sponsorship with y'all. We're doing a decal on the truck.
Yes.
That's not always possible for a lot of people, but for different like partners that we have from RaptorStrike and supporters, what's a way that they can show their support to y'all's team? You know,
Sure.
because of course a lot of it is a good chunk of it to be able to get to the race is, monetary.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are there any other ways that probably, viewers of RaptorStrike or people that have us on social media and all that kind of stuff? Because we're going to begin once we start posting. You are going to get like just flooded with our posts as well. So
Okay.
you are going to start being included in a lot of those posts.
Yeah.
Which a lot of them, some of them are comedy, some of them are. They're not going to make sense, but it's a way for us to be able to get y'all's name if they start looking at who's tagged. Oh, we got team, Fortune Glory, we have Amanda. I need to make sure and see if I have you on social media as well. That way y'all show up and hopefully it sparks some question as to who are these, who else is tagged on these things.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, how would there be other ways to show support?
So there's going to be two major ones. The first one is through the gift certificate program. So if you go to rebellerally.com, you can purchase a gift certificate for us. You can start with $1.
Yep.
That's awesome. If you want to give more than that, we certainly appreciate it. We'll also have a bunch of merch that we're working on right now with the freshly designed, super cool logo. So that'll be launching as well. And that's just going to help to fund our extra costs, right? So the entry fee is fairly high for a week event, but all of the other little bits and pieces are there as well. If they're
Building the truck is
Yeah.
part of it too.
Sure.
There's some upgrades that we're wanting to do to the truck. We're also trying to get to a Rebelle trials. So Rebelle University is actually put on by the competition, and they have a function called Rebelle Trials. It's my favorite class that I've taken from them so far. I've taken 4 different classes. It basically is like a day in the life of the rally. So it's a really good shakedown time.
Okay.
You can just
Get all the nerves out.
Yeah,
Get
it's awesome. So funding, it's like $1,500 for us just to attend the class. Then we've got to get there. They're usually in California. So some help raising money for that would be amazing, because that's where we get the best work done.
And other than that, following the content, sharing the content, when you see something that's cool, that helps to put us in front of more eyeballs, and that's also helpful.
All right, that sounds so. Y'all heard it here. We're gonna be having some merch, some shirts with the new designs, the gift certificate.
Gift certificates, yeah, through Rebelle.
Whichever way you look at it, the main thing is if there's something you can give, awesome. If not, there's free things. There's liking the post, there's sharing it, just getting more eyes on it. And it's the same thing that we deal with RaptorStrike.
Right.
A lot of the stuff, if you go to the YouTube, subscribe, it's free. All of that's out of pocket, and we just have a ton of fun doing it.
Sure.
But here at Domo, I have a lot of fun here. I know you're here a lot for training. This is a little bit of y'all's training ground, at least for the off-road section of just driving the truck.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
If there's one thing that you could change about the Ranger Raptor, what would it be? You probably have a ton, but
I have a couple of things that I would change. I think the biggest one for me, maybe the material they used for the gas tank skid. It was like a hard plastic. I used this truck like it's meant to be used, and that plastic didn't last very long for me. And I would say the digital lockers could be problematic. The touch screen is very sensitive. What I would, worst case scenario in my mind is I'm in the middle of an obstacle and the locker accidentally gets tapped on the screen.
oh, okay.
Other than that, I wouldn't change a thing. This is the most fun off-road vehicle I have ever driven. I went from a Gen 1 Raptor, F-150 Raptor, to this, and previously competed in the Rebelle in a 21 two-door Badlands with Sasquatch.
Okay.
I thought each one of those was the best truck I'd ever driven until I got into this one, because it's the best of both worlds. It can handle all of the sand stuff that we love, the whoops, the jumping, and then it can also crawl like a billy goat. It's kind of crazy.
And it's without that giant width that comes with some of the
There's no
full-size
big booty
Raptors
Judy
that-
problems.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I know those issues good and well. But the biggest thing is we wish y'all luck. We're showing as much support as we can. The other part of that is we're trying to get in touch with a lot of our supporters to see if we can pull those over to y'all's team and just kind of
awesome.
try to
Yeah.
convince them. It's it's something to do, but it's I can't promise it. I can't guarantee.
Well, sure.
But the biggest thing usually when it comes to a lot of the RaptorStrike stuff is it's all or nothing. So we won't show up to support and just like
That's how I live life.
whoop-de-doo and like just kind of disappear into the wind. If we're in, we're in.
Yeah,
So,
we
Love that.
appreciate it.
Well, hopefully too, us attending the Raptor events with you guys, people getting familiar with our faces. I don't see a lot, like Kenny's probably the only other Ranger Raptor that I see going to most of these. So
yeah, that, and then we got Sacred Terrain. They're also Ranger Raptor.
I saw their white Ranger Raptor.
So, you know, we have a lot of fun. The good thing is y'all are out here. This isn't just y'all show up, y'all go to do the rally, and that's it. No, they're out here. They're racing it. They're training with it. Hell, they drive more than I do. So what does that tell you? But the biggest thing is we love to have you out here. I'm glad you're able to make it out here to Texas. So
Yeah, happy to
the
be here.
biggest thing is good luck, and thank y'all for letting us sponsor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks.
Remember, all the stuff that y'all can do to support, it's free for the most part.
Thanks, Noah.
And we're out.
We're out. Cool. I forgot.